Today we will learn how to find the area of a square. Now, what do we mean by a square? A square is a four-sided polygon that has the same length on all sides, and each of the angles are all 90 degrees. So this is an example of a square. So right now we have 5 squares this way and 5 squares this way. Okay, so the characteristic of a square is that it has the same measurement for each of the sides. Okay, so how do you find the area of this square? So if you remember, to find the area, you need to multiply the length of the polygon by the width of the polygon. Or if you want to visualize that, let's put tiny squares here. So we have 5 squares down here, and we have 5 squares going this way vertically. Then how many squares are there going to be inside our shape here, inside here? How many squares are there going to be? If there are 5 squares this way, and if there are 5 rows of 5 squares, so that's going to be 5 squares here, 5 squares here, 5 squares here, 5 squares here, and 5 squares here. In total, that's going to be 25 squares. So to find the area of a square, you just need to multiply this side times this side, these two sides here. This side and this side. In this case, it's 5. So we multiply 5 times 5 to get 25. Now, the characteristic of a square is that both of these sides are the same. They're always going to be the same. If, let's say we have another square. If this side is 6, this side is also going to be 6. If this side is 10, this side is also going to be 10. That is the definition of a square. So whenever we're finding the area, of a square, we are multiplying the same number twice. So let's say that each of these sides are 3, then the area is going to be 3 times 3. Area, which is 9. If each of these sides were 6, then the area is going to be 6 times 6, which is 36. So, do you remember what's another way of writing 3 times 3 and 6 times 6? When we're multiplying two of the same numbers. Another way of writing 3 times 3 is like this. And we call this 3 squared. And this actually comes from the concept of the area of a square, because when we're finding the area of a square, you multiply the same number 2 times. Okay, so that's the relationship of this symbol here and a square. We read this as squared. So 3 squared is 9. 6 squared is 36. 10 squared is 100. So this means if we have a square of side 3, the area would be 9. If we have a square of side 6, the area will be 36. If we have a square of side 10, the area will be 10. Okay, so to get the area, I'll write the general formula for squares. Given that I have a square, and given that the measurement of the side is S, the area is going to be S times S, or S squared. So this is what you need to do to find the area of a square. But more importantly than memorizing the formula, I want you to understand the concept of why we got this formula. When you're finding the area, just multiplying this length times that length. But since both of the lengths are the same in a square, you're just multiplying the same number 2 times.